Okay, so let me tell you the first time I ever went to a jol. And a jol is like a slang word in South Africa for a party. And obviously, my friend suggested it. And he was telling me, like, Tondo, you need to come to this thing. It's amazing. It's so great. There's so many people there. And I told him that it's not usually my thing. Like, I'm usually kind of a person that doesn't go to like big parties. But his enthusiasm was like infectious. And I got to the point where I was excited. I was like, yeah, you know what? Okay, let's go. Let's go. I was like choosing an outfit and everything. The tough part was actually convincing my parents to let me go. Because, of course, it's going to be a bunch of teenagers around. So there's bound to be some dumb stuff that happens. So I had to promise them, like, hand on my heart, that I would not do anything stupid. And it took some convincing, but they did eventually let me go. So I'm even more excited now. So I choose my outfit. We get the tickets online. We go to pick up my friend, and we're driving to the location. I'm so excited. And as we get to the parking lot, we're entering it now. And I'm seeing the different groups of kids that are arriving as well and going inside. I'm not excited anymore. Now, I would rather be anywhere else but here. And of course, my friend, he's like, all right, let's go. Come on. He's opening the door. He's like opening the door for me to get me out as quickly as possible. And my dad's like, yeah, okay, you guys can call me when you're done and everything like that. But inside, I'm like, what am I doing? Why did I decide to come here? This isn't even my type of thing. At most, maybe I get together with like 3 other people. But there was like well over 1,000 kids there. But I mean, it's not like I could back out. We already paid for the tickets. So I walk in with my friend. We go and give them the like ticket thing we scanned on our phones, and we enter the location. It was this like massive rectangular shaped hall. On the right side, there were bleachers for everyone to sit down. And on the left side was like a snack bar for people to buy like chips and drinks and everything. And we first do a quick walkthrough around, like greeting some people. And immediately they can tell I've never been there because my friend told me, you don't do what I was doing. I was legit walking up to people, handshaking them like a business meeting and greeting them, saying, hi, I'm Tondo. Nice to meet you. What's your name? And many of them were just looking at me like I was weird. So already it wasn't off to a great start. And eventually, after we'd done our walkthrough, we decided to, well, I should say he, my friend, Erjan, I can say his name. Erjan decided, okay, you know what? Let's go into the middle and start dancing. Now, I looked at him for a second like, huh? Why? Because it was early in the night, so no one else was dancing, even though music was playing. But of course, everybody was too nervous to be the first ones to actually make a move, so they were all just kind of awkwardly sitting on the bleachers, talking to each other on their phones, watching everybody else to see who's going to make the first move. And he was like, you know what? Yeah, let's just do it, you and me. And my heart dropped. Like, I was like a deer in headlights. So, like, he pulled me in with a hand, and we got to the center. The music was blasting, and he started moving. And I could feel the entire hall's eyes on us. My heart was, like, beating so fast right now. And I started dancing. Now, of course, it was awkward at first, like a bit of a stiff movement here and there, but eventually, I was actually moving like some MJ type moves. It was pretty impressive. Of course, yeah, it was just us for a long time. Everybody was watching. Some people were even recording. I'm sure it was on Instagram somewhere. But the weirdest thing happened. And before I tell you what that was, I just want to let you know that I have an entire full guide on how to be a social introvert. Not like a shy one who can't speak to anybody, but also not like some weird thing that's going to make you act like Brad Pitt or some sort of weird celebrity. No, I've made it so that you can add it to your life rather than try to change who you are. So check it out if you want. It's down below. I think it'll be well worth your time. So after, who knows, maybe like 5, 6, 7 minutes of just us dancing, another guy came in and he started dancing as well. And then 2 more girls came. And I kid you not, within, let's say, 3 minutes, the entire area was moving. Everyone was dancing. People that were trickling in, like that were just arriving, were just immediately bombarded by everyone moving. It was incredible. And I mean, I don't know if I can prove this, but I truly believe it was because me and Erjan had been the first ones dancing. I think if we hadn't, the whole thing would have probably started way later, when everyone had finally arrived. Then maybe the dancing would have started. But because me and him took the first step, we, in a sense, led the party to where it ended up. And it was incredible. Guys and girls were complimenting us. They were dancing with us. They wanted our Instagram, our number. It was amazing. So the lesson that I want you to take from this is that being social is like going into a pool, a cold pool. Of course, if you delay it, if you think about how cold it's going to be, maybe try to prepare by wearing certain like wetsuits or whatever, you're gonna give yourself more suffering, because when you're thinking about it, you're not doing it. The same way, if you decide to slowly dip your toe into it, then leg, then knee, then your balls, then your abdomen, it's gonna be uncomfortable as well. But if you legit jump in, of course there's gonna be a shock to it. I'm not gonna deny that. But it almost, your body adjusts to it. Like for this example, of course, like I said, in the beginning, I was quite awkward when it came to dancing in front of all these people. But eventually, I just didn't care. And of course, I'd also attribute this to having somebody with me there as well, who was just as enthusiastic, if not more enthusiastic than me, that I was able to essentially feed off of his energy. It sounds so mystical. It was not anything that crazy. But yeah, it's like a pool. You need to jump in rather than try to delay it. That's what my dad always says. Whenever we're in a pool, he says, just jump in, Tondo. Don't even think about it. Don't try to get around it. Don't try to dip your face in first to get it wet and then maybe free your legs. No. Just cannonball in. And that's what you should do as well. And we always tell ourselves these things. Like, what if I look stupid? What if somebody judges me? What if I don't do it correctly? But the truth is that nobody is looking for perfection. They're looking for relatability. They're looking for authenticity. They're looking for enthusiasm. I mean, just think about it. The guys that you usually see that are like the life of the party, that everybody's having fun with, they're not usually the tall stoic guy who's looking around, who's like completely serene. No, it's the guy that's having a blast, that's probably a bit goofy, who's like tripping over himself, who's doing all sorts of dance moves, but who's having fun with it. If he messes up, he laughs it off and continues. He can roll with it. That's usually the person that does the best at these social events. So if you're worried that you need to be perfect in any way, perfect looks, perfect dance moves, perfect mindset, you don't need any of that. Anybody that tells you that, I believe, they just want to get you to only listen to them. But I mean, I think you should not listen to me, but you know what I mean. Lastly, if you are scared of socializing, like thinking what I did in this story was a bit too intense for you, I can understand that. But I'd like to leave you with this. Think of Every time you socialize, like a baby bird flying, at first, of course, their wings are fresh, they're very weak. So when they fly, they don't really have much of a rhythm to it. It's kind of jittery. But every time that they do fly, every time they spread their wings, it gets better and better and better. Until eventually, they've done it so many times that it's almost like they're cutting through the sky. It's honestly quite incredible. And that can be you. If you just continue doing that, continue pushing yourself. The bird, after a few failed attempts at flying, wouldn't be like, okay, well, I'm never gonna fly again. I'll just keep my feet on the ground. No, because it knows it's destined for so much more. So are you. So, join me as well. You can subscribe or whatever, so that we can become social together. We can lead a movement of guys that are introverted, that are humble, that are kind, but that can also have a blast in social situations. So, take action, learn from failure. See ya.